So today we're going to talk about creating capacity when it comes to decision making. And anytime we can create capacity when it comes to decision making, we save time. Welcome everybody to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Welcome everybody to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. I am your host, John Espinosa. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen today. I have an awesome episode in store for you. If you like what you hear, it would mean the world to me if you share this with family, friends, teammates, peers. It ultimately meets our mission of getting others to where they're going. Today we're going to talk about capacity, and you hear me use the word capacity with a lot of our themes that we've been talking about up to this point. Today it's going to be around decision making. Anytime I talk about creating capacity as a leader, it's clearing up space. It's allowing us as leaders, when we create capacity, that's when we can flow into others. There's a reason that I put self up at the very top after faith, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't pour into others. We can't give to others. We can't devote time to others. We have to be able to create capacity within ourselves in order for that capacity to be filled with us pouring into others. So today we're going to talk about creating capacity when it comes to decision making. And anytime we can create capacity when it comes to decision making, we save time. Decisions, big or small, there's things that go into the decision making process, and we have an episode on decision making process. You got to own your process. And one of the ways that we're going to talk about today, creating capacity, is that process. But in order for us to create capacity, we got to do a couple things. So let's dig into this. The very first thing you have to do to create capacity is pre-decide as much as you possibly can. If you are like me, you've returned to the office. I get up. What's the daily routine? Some of us work out. So what does that look like? Probably have to get on your workout clothes. You either drive to a gym or you got a home gym. A way to create capacity there by pre-deciding is to set out your clothes. Have everything ready to go. Pre-decide that. Set them out. Get your shoes ready. Get your workout clothes ready. Put them there so you don't have any excuses trying to fumble or trying to find, or this is dirty or that's clean. That's an example of pre-deciding. Another example along those same lines, I set out what I'm going to wear the next day when I go into the office. So that shirt, tie combo, my pants, I go and I pair socks. If any of you are like me, you have a sock basket, and in that sock basket, I think the socks either get eaten or change color. I don't know where they go, but it's just hard finding two socks that match. Match those socks. Put everything out. And I don't mean like laid out on the couch. Some of us do that. But at least go in the closet and I move everything to the front that I'm going to wear. So that way when I get up in the morning, I'm not deciding what to wear. I pre-decide that. Other things, meal prep. Who out there meals preps? Okay? Meal prep, make sure that you eat what you're supposed to eat, but you don't have to think about it. When you meal prep, if it's beginning of the week, you set out 5-6 meals. I don't know, maybe breakfast, lunch, dinner, or maybe you're just doing lunch. Why? Because you don't have to think about it. It's easy. We pre-decide those things. So that is a way for us to create capacity. We're not sitting around spending time figuring out what we're going to wear in the morning. We're not spending time figuring out what we're having for lunch. It's right there. We either nuke it, put it in the microwave, or whatever it may be. It is pre-decided that we're going to do that thing. So anytime you can make a pre-decision, do it. One way to create capacity. The second way to create capacity, automate. Automate your decisions. So what does this look like? Again, I love food. You're going to hear me talk about food, and I love clean food. I love to cook. Who has done the meal service? So they drop a box off once a week, has whatever number of meals in it, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you've signed up for your subscription. What does that do for us? It creates time. We automate that. It shows up at our doorstep. All the ingredients are in there. It comes with a nice little recipe. And again, we're automating that. We don't have to go to the grocery store and get 5 different ingredients. It's all in one box. We know it's all coming. We're ready to go. And we cook dinner. That is an automated decision. Another way for automating a decision is packing for a trip. I go on several business trips. I bought those modular packing things that, you can put your ties in, you can put your undergarments in, you can put your t-shirt and your dress shirts in. It is awesome. I've automated that. So I know when I go for 4 days or 5 days, have a note on my phone, a notes page on my phone. I go in there, I need X number of pairs of socks. I need X number of pair of undergarments. I need X number of pair of white shirts. It's automated. I don't have to think about anything. I just go down my list. I throw it in my little modules. I put them in my suitcase. 2 years ago, I made a conscious decision whenever we started traveling again that I was going to travel using a carry-on. And so far, the past 2 years, I have been very successful. I can go about a week-long business trip in a carry-on. I know it's crazy, but I can do it. There was a tremendous amount of clothes and things that I was bringing on vacation or trips I never even used. I mean, almost I got up to half of the things I put in the bag I never used. So I automated that. I created a list. I bought some little modules to put everything in. And that way I just throw everything in my bag and I'm ready to go. Another way that I automate decisions, in a way that I pick what decisions I automate, is what matters the most. So what matters the most when it comes to that decision? And that's where you're going to create that capacity. For me, it's time. Time matters the most right now to me. I used to fumble through things when stuff would break around the house. Guess what? I'd get on YouTube, research, I'd get the parts, I'd fix it. The other day, my septic system broke. And I'm sitting here, I have meetings all day, can't run any water, can't run any wash, can't do a lot of things if your septic system isn't working. So what do? Now I automate that decision. I pick up the phone, I call somebody, and they come out. I've automated the decision. I don't have to decide, okay, when am I going to fix that? What videos am I going to watch? Make sure that the model is correct with the video that I'm watching. Then I got to order the part. Then I got to wait for the part and hope that the part is the correct way. I've automated that decision in my mind. When something breaks around the house, something major breaks around the house, I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to hire it out because time matters the most to me. If you have time to go do that, by all means, go get it done. But for me, it's time, so I'm going to automate that decision. I'm going to hire it out. So that's the second way that we can create capacity. And then the third way that we can create capacity, figure out your decision-making process. We talked about this. What is your decision-making process? You as a leader, you as a spouse, you as a husband, you as a father, you as a friend. What does that decision-making process look like? When somebody asks you to make a decision, do you process the information? Are you gathering information before you make the decision? Are you doing kind of any analyzation of that information? Are you determining the root cause? And then are you evaluating? So that's my decision-making process, very similar almost to like a scientific method. My background is in project management, very similar to how you would manage a project. That is mine. What is yours? If you figure that out, you're going to create capacity. So next time you have to make a decision, and it could be a small decision or it could be a big decision. You could even have separate decision-making processes based on the threshold of that decision. Figure that out, get it down, and then do it. That creates capacity. It saves us time as leaders to go on and do other things. That doesn't mean we rush the decision. It just means that we got a process now that we put it in and we spit it out. System of systems. Inflow and outflow. We run it through the process. We're comfortable with the process. So especially if you have to make a very difficult or hard decision, at least trust the process that you've established, run it through there, and then make that decision. So I've given you 3 ways to increase capacity when it comes to decision making. First, you have to pre-decide anything you possibly can. So I talked about setting out my clothes in the morning, the lunches. The second piece, automate. Automate those decisions. And a lot of this can come if it meets a certain threshold, then you're automatically going to kick it back. It falls below a certain number, then you're going to kick it back and ask for more information. However you can automate your decisions, do it. And then third but not least, probably the most important, figure out your process, trust your process, and then make the decision. I hope this helps somebody today. Go be great. We'll talk to everyone later. Bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.